Hello and welcome to the New York State Kinship Navigator's April Lunch and Learn. My name is Cheryl Abbott and I'm the Regional Coordinator with the New York State Kinship Navigator.
And I'm Caitlin O'Brien. I'm the RAPP Program Manager at Cornell Cooperative Extension.
So our Lunch and Learns are usually the third Thursday of the month. This month it just happens to be the 4th. This session will be recorded. During the session, everyone is on mute. And if you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. I actually don't see any attendees.
I see 6 so far.
6, okay. All right. Everyone who's registered will receive the PowerPoint and a link to today's webinar, which will also be posted on the Kinship Navigator YouTube channel. I'd also like to thank Times Union for their media sponsorship of our February, March, April, and May Lunch and Learns. Their support helps us to reach new audiences with information about the Kinship Navigator and our partners. For those who are joining us today who are not familiar with the New York State Kinship Navigator, we offer information, referrals, and education for kinship caregivers, prospective kinship caregivers, and professionals all across New York. You can connect with us through our warm line, which is 877-454-6463. We are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also access information and resources through our website. We have over 70 cited fact sheets, resources listed by county. Our online chat is also open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can see our email address on our website. And just one more housekeeping note. Our next Lunch and Learn is going to be on Thursday, May 21st, and it's going to be with families together in New York State. And I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin now.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you're all here. I wish I could see your beautiful faces, but this is the nature of online learning. My name is Caitlin O'Brien. I'm the Relatives as Parents Program Manager at Cornell Cooperative Extension in Orange County, New York. I'm going to be doing an overview of sort of the cooperative extension system, Cornell Cooperative Extension in Orange County specifically, and then touch on some of our specific program offerings for the Relatives as Parents program. So we're going to kind of go macro and then get smaller and smaller down into our local programming. To kick us off, I'm just going to play a very short video that gives kind of an overview of what cooperative extension is, what that even means, and what our connection to the university is. And then we'll talk more specifically about the local program offerings here in Orange County and our Relatives as Parents program.
Cornell University is one of the world's leading research institutions. It's also the land-grant university for New York State. That means Cornell is dedicated to creating knowledge that improves the lives of New Yorkers. A vital way in which Cornell serves New York is through Cornell Cooperative Extension, a network of independent associations located across the state. Cornell Cooperative Extension translates the latest evidence-based findings generated at Cornell into practical knowledge, delivered through research-based programs and services that reach some 2 million New Yorkers each year. These include youth and family programs that fight childhood malnutrition, build parenting skills, and address challenges facing communities such as opioid addiction. Farm programs to spur economic development by developing pest-resistant crops, creating new markets, and promoting local foods through farm-to-school and urban agriculture programs. Support services for military veterans and their families, small business development programs, environmental programs to improve water quality and protect shorelines, community partnerships to revitalize cities across the state, and 4-H, a youth development program that prepares today's young people to be tomorrow's leaders. Cornell Cooperative Extension addresses local needs with its presence in every one of New York's counties, including New York City's 5 boroughs. Extension associations in each county are staffed by experts who live and work in their community and engage directly with residents face-to-face. While Cornell provides general oversight of the state's county extension offices, each of them operates as a subordinate government agency in its respective county, independent of Cornell. So by design, extension associations have the freedom and flexibility to focus on issues that matter most to local residents. Discovery and inquiry are at the heart of Cornell Cooperative Extension. Working with local partners and Cornell researchers, extension experts identify vital community issues and refine their programs to ensure maximum relevance and effectiveness. This way, knowledge and expertise flow in both directions, from Cornell to communities and vice versa. CCE also engages with a robust network of government agencies, community groups, and local volunteers. In other words, we're all in this together. For over 100 years, Cornell Cooperative Extension has been a trusted resource for generations of New Yorkers. Its work is always evolving, but the mission remains constant, helping residents, businesses, and communities thrive.
So that gives you a little bit of a taste of the cooperative extension system, which is part of the larger land-grant university system across the country. Every state in the United States has a land-grant university with cooperative extension connected to it. What's unique about New York State is that most of those, the university supervises directly the cooperative extension staff. In New York State, each cooperative extension in each county is an independent, connected to the university, but runs independently. The benefit of that is really that we're able to tailor our programming and our funding and all of those things to the unique needs of the communities that we're working in. So to speak specifically about, sorry, I went too fast. Cornell Cooperative Extension in Orange County. Our mission here in Orange County is to enable people to improve their lives through education by bringing local experience and research-based solutions together. So that's really pulling from the knowledge at the university level, but also pulling from the inherent knowledge in our communities and kind of piecing those two things together to really build the best programming that can meet the needs of each of our communities. Orange County does that through agriculture and food work, family and youth work, environment and economic development, as well as some natural resources, climate and energy, and community vitality and economic development. CCE here in Orange County has 4 main program areas. Those are family and community development. Folks used to know our program area as FCS, or Family and Consumer Sciences. We've had a rebrand recently, so if I stumble into talking about FCS, please know that I'm still talking about family and community development. We made that change to really adapt to really the kind of programming that we're offering and all of the different areas that we cover. Agriculture is another main focus area, 4-H and youth development. And then SNAP Ed was cut at the federal level, but we do still have SNAP Ed staff here employed at Orange County. Those folks are working on basically a budget that was left over from the last federal appropriation, as well as they've done some really creative, nimble work around fundraising, grant writing, and we're able to secure a private donor that is enabling them to continue their work for a period of time and kind of exploring what that looks like going forward. So I won't focus too much on what SNAP Ed does specifically, as it's kind of evolving and changing based on the fact that they're no longer federally funded. Our different program areas have some key focuses underneath. I'm going to talk about 4-H and youth development and agriculture mainly, because I'm going to actually get very specific into the FCD program area in a little bit. So this year we're kicking off Camp Clover, which is our first year running a 4-H based camp at our education center in 4-H Park in Otisville, New York. 4-H also includes the traditional 4-H club model, which is volunteer-led. We also have some after-school clubs that are staff-led. Some in-school education. We just completed an incubation in embryology, so taking eggs and hatching them into little baby chicks in schools. There's some library education programs where they do some like little kits that the kids then get to take home and do with their families, as well as some really innovative STEM coding and gaming programming that is done under 4-H. Under agriculture, there's a lot that happens under agriculture, but some of our key main points are community horticulture, which includes our Master Gardener volunteer program, a gardening helpline, gardening classes, as well as some community garden programs. In addition, there is a lot of farm-specific work that goes on, farm outreach and education, education around pest management, crop harvesting, innovative planting methods, as well as information on commercial farming. And in addition, there's an environmental component. There's another master volunteer program called the Climate Stewards. So that all falls under our ag area. To speak specifically about our family and community development program area, our tagline used to be raising kids, eating right, and spending smart, but since we are doing a lot more community resilience building, it's raising kids, eating right, and building resilience. Really anything that falls under sort of the family umbrella, FCD tries to tackle in terms of working with folks around parenting education, including our non-traditional families like our kinship families, professional development around youth, around resilience, around positive approaches to just really community building, as well as nutrition education, being budget friendly around purchasing foods, preparing foods, and things like that. This is some of our incredible FCD staff. So I just wanted to introduce everybody. I won't run through everyone individually. You all will get a copy of the slides so you can reach out if there's a question that you have that falls under any of our program areas in the family and community development area. But I did want to highlight our two new staff, which are Chloe and Donna. They joined our team in the last 2 months. Chloe is a human development educator and Donna is a nutrition program educator. Sorry, I saw questions coming in, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything vital or important. Under our Raising Kids tenet, that's where you'll see our parenting education captured. Our RAPP program, so that's the program that I run, our 2-Gen youth and family program, so that's any of our real intergenerational programming that might happen, and our resilience building initiatives. In parenting education, we offer both in-person and virtual parenting education, and I'm going to actually run through more specifically some of these programs, so I'm going to skip listing them all right there. But we have some that are one-off programming, but a lot of curriculum-based multi-session programs to really build that knowledge development and connection between the educator and the folks receiving the education. Those include Discipline is Not a Dirty Word, which is a pretty popular program that we offer and run pretty routinely throughout the course of the year. We do that both in person and virtually, depending on the needs and the audience. It's 4 to 6 sessions, and it really focuses on child development, ACEs, parent and child connection and co-regulation. Unpacking the Teen Years has been a program that we've run solely virtually. That doesn't mean it's not possible to run in person, but that's just been what's most convenient for the folks attending the class and based on a needs assessment that we completed. And that really focuses on parents who are becoming parents of teenagers. So youth 10 and up, so you could be in the middle of it, the thick of it, or right before you're preparing to enter that phase. And it's really about teen development, connecting with your teens, risky behaviors, red flags, but really building on that parent-child communication as brain development changes the way that you might interact with your child. The Connection series has also been completely virtual. We've run Connecting with Your Child, Connecting with Your Teen, Self-Connection, and also, it's not on here because it was our most recent edition, but also Community Connection. So how do you connect with the folks in your larger community? Teen programs continued because we have a lot. Our Strengthening Families program, age 10 to 14, is a parent-child workshop for kids 10 to 14 years old and their caregiver. It has a dinner component, a session for the youth and the parents separately, and then everybody comes back together to talk about the skills that they worked on and to do some like at-home practice after it. That's a 7-week in-person program. Parenting a Second Time Around, or many folks know it as PASTA, is our 8-session developed in-house award-winning program that's designed for relative caregivers. The language is very grandparent focused, and we know that. So future iterations will adapt to that change, since we know that our kinship families can look all different kinds of ways. But it's really about addressing the unique needs of our kinship families and talking about how to navigate complicated family dynamics, helping kids navigate the grief and the loss, as well as the caregiver. It might not have been a death, but it is also sort of a loss of a relationship and a way you imagined you would interact with those children, and as well as the folks that were the biological parents. Parenting a Related Child is our online adaptation of the PASTA program, infusing more components of trauma-informed care, as well as some of the new and innovative information from the National Training and Development Curriculum. And that is an online self-paced class. So we run PASTA typically once or twice a year in person, but that doesn't always necessarily meet the needs of folks that are coming into care and kind of want to get that education right away. 8 weeks in person can also be really challenging for folks to commit to and see it all the way through. So this Moodle-based class allows folks to navigate through the course at their own pace, with other folks that are also doing it at the same time.
Just a second, Caitlin.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
dropped in the chat that the website is not currently working.
Which website? Sorry.
The Orange
PASTA
County
page on the
PASTA.
CCEOC?
Yeah, the PASTA
Oh,
website.
well, that is very helpful. I don't know how to fix that, but I do know people who do. So I will share that information with them so that they can get that link up and running, so that folks can access that. And
Okay.
also, if anybody had questions about the park program, you can certainly reach out to me as well. There's less up about that because it's newly developed. We ran a pilot and then one in a session open to the public. And so that's like our newest program that more information will be added as we get it ready to kind of roll out on a broader scale. So just talk a little bit specifically about RAPP. RAPP is the Relatives as Parents program. So it's for our kinship caregivers who are taking care of a relative child in place of bio mom and bio dad. For the variety of reasons that might happen. I'm sure the folks in this space are pretty familiar with that. What RAPP looks like is a number of built-in supports, which include monthly support groups, educational resources and connections to some of our community collaborators, 4-H youth programming for our RAPP youth, a group of incredible, wouldn't be able to do the job without them, peer mentors, as well as legal assistance and respite and childcare reimbursement. Sorry, my click didn't work that time. RAPP is structured with monthly support groups, which include our coffee and conversation model, which is co-facilitated by a mental health professional and one of our peer mentors. Those happen 2 times a month in 2 different locations in Orange County. The first and second Tuesday of each month. We also have a second style of support group, which is more of like a social interaction that's purely peer mentor led, and those are daytime programs. So our coffee and conversations run in the evening, our RAPP chats run during the day, and those are also twice a month in 2 different locations. Our peer mentors are our kinship caregivers who have been caring for a while and are able to offer some lived experience guidance back to newer kinship caregivers. They help to run our monthly support groups and our RAPP chats. They also are out with us doing tabling and volunteering and writing letters when those need to happen, and advocating at the New York State Legislature on our local county level, and really help to guide and shape our programming based on what they're hearing from the kinship caregivers they support. We also have our 4-H youth programming that runs concurrent to our support groups, and is really designed to have the youth be able to connect with each other on that 4-H model of positive youth development, doing fun activities, but also building connection with kids that are in families that look like theirs and can kind of relate to what they're going through and how they're feeling. We also do lots of fun events, not just the serious stuff. So every year we do an annual RAPP night at the Warwick Drive-In, which also serves as a fundraiser for our respite and child care reimbursement. It goes to our summer camp scholarship fund. So our families are able to attend for free, but we sell tickets to the general public, and the drive-in allows us to take 100% of those profits and put that in our scholarship fund. It's a great night that we started during the pandemic and has just been something that's been a nice thing to continue for our families and for folks in general. We also host an annual summer picnic for our families. There's potluck style food, lots of fun activities for youth and caregivers alike, shared meals, music. Sometimes we have different presenters. We've done puppeteers and musical acts and things like that during that. And then our annual holiday party, where one of our peer mentors dresses up as Santa and reads books to kids at the end of our event, and also includes like a nice family gift and lots of crafts and activities throughout the day. I recognize that we're running low on time, so I'm going to just touch on like the highlights of these. So our 2-Gen youth and family programs are really designed to be parent and child led. We have a couple of things that are running currently. And my coworker Addie is also bilingual, so one of her programs is run fully in Spanish for some of our farm workers at the Sun River Health Alamo location. But it's really to engage youth and families, sometimes together all in the same room, sometimes separately, and bringing them back together to engage in conversations. One of those 2-Gen programs is something we call Flavor of Family, and that's specifically for our RAPP families, to get folks in the kitchen and cooking together and talking together, and really creating some of those bonds that you can over making a meal. Our Resilience Project is led by my coworker Yulika. It's really focused on a variety of different things. It includes our Handle with Care, which is a school-based program that if children had an encounter with a police officer or an emergency service personnel, all they do is say that child's name to the school district and tell them to handle with care the next day, so that folks know if a child's sleepy in class or struggling emotionally or maybe acting out in a way that seems uncharacteristic, they know that there's something behind that. So really to help build that sense of like our kids are people too, and they go through tough stuff when their family does, and to really treat them with love and care. Some of the other programs are Choose Love, What's Love Got to Do with It, our Growing Resilience webinar series. And then the Master Community Builder program is similar to the Master Gardeners or the Climate Stewards, which are our master volunteer programs. It's a 10-month long program that's really about how do you build community, what is your unique community needs. So each of those folks that are trained can then volunteer with that program out in the community. Part of what is also going on with the resilience is some climate action groups based on funding we received from Orange and Rockland Utilities to be responsive in the Middletown and Port Jervis areas where we've seen impacts of climate change. And those climate action groups are currently doing a survey to see kind of how folks are adapting to those needs, more adverse weather events, things like that. In Port Jervis, they've put some of that work into action. They started something called the Sunflower City Project. They worked with the Open Space Institute to learn that sunflowers actually spread their roots quite wide and quite deep, which helps keep soil in place so that when there is a major rain event and flooding that Port Jervis has seen quite frequently over the last few years, those sunflowers, which are beautiful, can also really help prevent erosion and be a visual display of like, okay, we're responding to this thing that we're seeing in our communities. Under our Eating Right, we have our expanded food and nutrition program and our Hudson River Fish Advisory. I'm not going to run through all of this. The Hudson River Fish Advisory really teaches folks how to safely fish from our local waterways, what fish are safe to eat and at what quantities. And our expanded food and nutrition education program is a federally funded nutrition education program for income eligible youth and families. Our FNEP educators actually deliver the Flavor of Family program that I talked about under RAPP. And they are able to offer free workshops about kind of spreading your food dollars, how to shop on a budget, but still get healthy foods, and do a lot of really incredible programming, which is all listed here that I won't have time to run through. But just to wrap it up, each cooperative extension functions as its own sub-governmental agency. So within each of those counties that they're working in, most of the main program areas like the ag, the family and parenting sections, the 4-H, and the nutrition, those main overarching umbrellas are the same, but a lot of the programming that happens in each community might differ based on funding, based on community needs, based on location. So I know our folks up in like Jefferson County near Fort Drum do a lot of military work because they're working in a community that most of those folks are military involved. So there's a lot of unique components. To look at what might be in your local area, I've shared the websites where you can kind of see what is cooperative extension overall and what are those local programs that you might be able to access in your area. That might differ a little bit from what we have here in Orange County. So that is all. I wanted to leave time for questions if folks had any questions about any of the RAPP specific stuff or sort of just general what we're doing here in Orange County. But I know sometimes questions come after you're off the Zoom. So please feel free to take down my email and reach out with any questions you might have about program specifics as well. Did I miss any questions while I was going through, other than the pasta thing, which I will make sure we take care of?
I don't see anything that was just dropped in the chat.
Okay.
So does anybody have any questions?
And I know it was a lot to cover, so please feel free to reach out about any of that specific stuff if it comes up after. Thank you, Colleen. And certainly, I would not be the expert on anything ag, 4-H, or SNAP Ed connected, but I can connect you to the folks that are. So if any of those questions come up about those things and I don't know the answer to them, I have great coworkers that I can connect you to help answer some of that. Oh, thank you so much, Heather. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me. It's always nice to kind of talk about the work that I love doing and to share a little bit about the cool stuff that my coworkers are doing, which I work with a great team. So,
well, thank you so much for putting together the presentation for us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Joining us. If anybody has any further questions, no. Again, if you registered, you'll be getting a link to the online presentation and also the PowerPoint itself. Anything else?
That's it for me. So
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank you again.
No problem.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.